through it. What the New York Times is trying to do is obfuscate and soft pedal this news, but it is a bombshell. Let me just read you a quote. This is coming from Samuel Scarpino, who's basically a surrogate in the non-governmental sector. He works for the Rockefeller Foundation, okay? Here's what he says, quote, the CDC is a political organization as much as it is a public health organization. Well, if that isn't a mic drop, I don't know what is. And then he says, the steps it takes to get something like this released are often well outside of the control of many of the scientists that work at the CDC. Here's my translation. An NGO spokesperson for the official public health stance is throwing Rochelle Walensky under the bus, saying the politicians have forced us to commit scientific fraud. This is scientific fraud.
But hang on. It's even more brutal. And what you pull from the New York Times, I want to read from the New York Times itself, cited in your article. This is a quote. 2 full years into the pandemic, the agency leading the country's response to the public health emergency has published only a tiny fraction of the data it has collected. Several people familiar with the data said much of the withheld information could help state and local health officials better target their efforts to bring the virus under control, end quote. Dr. Malone, what the heck does that mean? What do they mean? I thought they were supposed to put up all their data. That was the point of the CDC. Dr. Malone.
This is scientific fraud. They have been, this is the next chapter in this noble lie story, and it's not noble. They're admitting that they've been lying to us by withholding data, just the same as Tony Fauci has lied to us again and again about flattening the curve, mask use, what it's going to take to reach herd immunity. It just goes on. And now we find out that the underlying data that the medical community has been relying on, the data that has been used to justify the attacks that we've had from our licensing boards, all of this blowback we've had, the censorship on Twitter, the censorship on Facebook, and all of these attacks we've had on the press have been all because the CDC has been hiding the data that would verify what we've been saying all the way along.